I used to regret loving her, but I don't regret loving her now. Eskiden onu sevdiğim için pişmanlık duyardım ama artık onu sevdiğimden dolayı pişmanlık duymuyorum. Güzel bir anlam olarak presuppose yapıyorum. So the presupposition is I loved her, but I didn't regret it. Is that correct? I loved her in the past and I regretted it. I was regretful. Okay? I used to regret, it says. So when we, the inference here, when we, the inference, he loved her, he loved her and he regretted in the past. The presupposition remains constant under negation. So what do we mean by this? The presupposition is that I loved her. Okay? I loved her. So this presupposition remains constant. It remains the same under negation. What do you mean by negation? Well, this sentence structurally is not negative. I used to regret. And then it changed, I don't regret loving her. I don't regret loving her. That means I love her. This is a fact, and this fact cannot change even the structures change. Alright? The assumption is I'm married to her now. Varsayım ne? Bu cümleden çıkaracağımız. I used to regret loving her, but I don't regret loving her now. Ben eskiden onu sevdiğim için pişmanlık duyardım. Ama şimdi onu sevdiğim için pişmanlık duymuyorum. Demek ki ben onunla evliyim. Sadece evliya çocuklu. Eskiden onu sevdiğim için pişmanlık duyardım. Şimdi duymuyorum. The presupposition is here. She's a loser, not me. O kaybetti, ben değilim. Olabilir mi? Giden gitmiştir. Gittiği gün kaybetmiştir. Whoever went, they already went, and they lost it the moment they went. Okay, it is assumed that I don't love her anymore. Can you assume that? Nah. You know that I don't regret loving her now. I don't regret loving her anymore. You cannot say he doesn't love her anymore. Okay? It cannot be assumed. Which of the following is true about the below sentence in terms of direct and indirect speech acts? You left the door open, and it's called outside. So this is a direct speech? No, it is indirect. And what I mean here is that I want you to close the door. Why? Because it is cold outside. And you left the door open. You need to close it. That is what I mean. Alright? It is a declarative structure with question function. Is that true? It is a declarative structure. Declarative, what do you mean? Statement, ifade, düz ifade. Right? But it is not in question form. Düz ifade. Like if it was a declarative structure with statement function, that would be true. Yani yapı düz ve statement fonksiyonu var. Yani bir şeyi ifade ediyor. You left the door open. Yapısal olarak baktığımız zaman, synthetically baktığımızda yapı ne? Declarative, yani düz ve bir ifade. Speaker neyi kastediyor, biz ona bakmıyoruz şu an. Yapısal olarak baktığımızda bu doğru. It is an interrogative structure with statement function. It is interrogative. Soru mu soruyor? Question. Can you? Could you? Would you? No. And it is a statement function, but it is not interrogative. It is an imperative structure. Imperative, do it. Okay? Shake it. But with request command function? No. There is request. The request, he make a request from him to close the door, but it is not interrogative or imperative. It is an indirect speech act to make request. Yes, indirect speech. Dolaylı yoldan kapıyı kapatmasını istiyor. Alright? It is indirect speech of act. It is an indirect speech act of promising. No, there's no promise. But when you say, okay, I'll pay you back, I'll come back, I won't do it again, there's promise. Okay, you promise, you say, I promise that I won't do it again. Excuse me, do you know where Faruk Pharmacy is? Oh, sure, I know where it is. I'm on the way. Faruk Pharmacy, Faruk Pharmacy. In Turkey, like, oh sure, I know where it is. Let me tell you, like, you go straight up and then take first right and then you'll see a bank. Just cross the road and it is behind the road. Or you can use another way. If you cross road and take the first right, then you go. In Turkey it's like this, right? But here it says, oh sure, I know where it is. Ya sen nerede olduğunu biliyor musun? Evet biliyorum.
Saatin var mı?
Saatin var mı? Var. Onu biliyorum. So here, the listener, the passerby, fails to recognize what the visitor asked him or what wants him to do. So here, the passerby acts as if the utterance was a direct speech act. Is that true? Yes, that's true. Right? He acts as if the utterance was direct speech. Biliyor musun? Evet biliyorum. Direct speech. And he acts like this. The visitor uses an interrogative structure with request function. Yes. Do you, interrogative, do you, could you, and request, please tell me. Right? Do you know? If you know, please tell me. There's a request. But it is in an indirect way. Not directly, but indirectly. The passerby fails to recognize the visitor's indirect speech act. Yes, he fails to recognize his indirect speech. Okay, he just said, okay, I know. And then what? He fails to recognize that the visitor asked him to tell him the way how to go to the pharmacy. The question form used by the visitor is more polite than direct speech acts. For example, do you know where the pharmacy? This is more polite than tell me where Faruk Pharmacy is. Bana söyle. Sözünden daha kibardır. Doğru mu? Yes. And that's why we use interrogative structure with request function, right? And we ask people indirectly. Why? To save their public image. The passerby uses a declarative structure with request function. Is that true? Declarative structure? No. Is it? Is it true? It is not declarative structure. It is interrogative. Declarative düz. Deklare etmek. Hani bir şeyi ifade ediyorsun, deklare ediyorsun. İlan ediyorsun, düz. Ama interrogative question sorguluyorsun. Do you know? Could you? Would you? Alright?
Hocam eşittir request function'dan dolayı oluyor değil mi?
Request function'dan dolayı olmuyor. Ya hayır. Declarative'den dolayı olmuyor.
Ama bu passerby ya hocam. Şey değil.
The passerby.
Declarative soru değil.
Ha, biz... Ha, alright. Doğru, ben şeyi karşılıyorum. request function'dan dolayı olmuyor. Çünkü passive bak, yes, I know where it is. Bu declarative'dir, düz cümle. Ama request yok. Okay? What can be said about the dialogue below in terms of politeness? Commander, give me that paper. Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Emredersiniz komutanım. Okay. Sir, yes, sir. Emredersiniz komutanım. Sir, yes, sir. What the commander says is a face-threatening act.
Yes.
Okay. The face-threatening, what do you mean by face-threatening? And what do you mean by face?
Face, self.
Okay, every individual has their own face in the society, within the society. My face represents my self-image. I've got a self-image. For example, let me give you a simple question. My self-image within this society is that I'm a lecturer at this university, I'm teaching you. So you are my student, I am superior to you.
Yes.
Okay? Right?
Yes.
Alright, so now when talking to me, you have to be more polite. You say, sir, can I ask you a question? Right? So when you say this, you save my self-image. You save.
Say yes.
However, say, hoca, hala bunu cevapla. Okay. Or, Dilber, answer to this question. An answer. So, if you say this, then you, okay, this is a